Good morning, class. So today we are going to discuss about chapter number 11, subsidiary books, special journals or subdivision of journal. So we have cash receipt journal, cash payment journal, purchase journal, sales journal and many more with us. So in this chapter you will come to know about purchases and purchases return book, sales and sales return book, journal proper, debit notes and credit notes, mechanics of posting from subsidiary books or special journals. The study of this chapter would enable you to understand purchases journal, sales journal, purchase account, sales account, journal, debit note, credit note, closing entries, rectification entries, transfer entries and adjusting entries. We are having a different set of entries like transaction entry, adjusting entry, closing entry, reversing entry and a compound entry. Let us take example of a very known company, that is Nokia. Nokia has been adapting to the needs of an ever-changing world for over 155 years. From its humble beginning in 1865 as a single paper mill operation, Nokia has found and nurtured success over the years in a range of industrial sectors including cable, paper, products, rubber boots, tires, televisions and mobile phones. Nokia has recorded net sales from 1998 to 1999, that is with $5673 million. So it is very difficult for every big organization to record each and every transaction. Hence, different accounting systems have been prepared, but transactions such as purchase, sales, purchase return, sales return, they are needed to be differentiated, to be separated. Whenever a company needs to be separated, its suppliers, creditors, investors, customers, branches, amount payable, amount receivables are to be recorded properly. Every company wants to prepare it in different segments, different fractions, so that as and when details of any of the party involved in the business is needed, the same can be obtained from the different and separate set of books, so maintained by the accountant and auditor of a company. Why do we need these special journals? Why we cannot record our transactions in journal only? Though we have cash receipt journal, it records all cash received by the firm. Cash is received by the firm, cash is paid by the firm. Sale is sometimes made on credit basis. Sometimes stock is purchased on credit basis. So we make purchase journal which records all credit purchases of stock. We make sales journal which records all credit sales made by the firm. And we also make cash payment journal which will record all cash paid by the firm. Here in this chapter you will learn about goods, inventory, return outward, return inward, invoice price, cartage, sundries, as per purchase, debit note, credit note, dishonor of bills. The person who purchases, he sends a debit note to the seller and then seller sends the credit note back to the purchaser. First of all, we will discuss about a dishonored bill. When the drawee, that is a person who is liable to pay, is not able to make the payment on the date of maturity of a bill is said to be dishonored. In this situation, liability of drawee is restored. Dishonor of a bill can be either by non-acceptance or by non-payment. That is, if the person who wants to pay the money, that who is liable to pay the money back, If he is not accepting the bill, he is not agreeing that he is liable to pay. Moreover, he is not making actual payment on the stipulated date. At that time, dishonor of bill takes place. Following is a list of notable call center companies. We have Teleperformance, Televerde, Teletech, Telis International, Transcom Worldwide, Ubiquity Global Services, United Nearshore Operations, WNS Global Services, WebHelp, and also we have Wipro Limited. Wipro Limited is an Indian multinational corporation that provides information technology, consulting and business process resources. Its headquarters is in Bangalore, Karnataka, India. In 2013, Wipro separated its non-IT businesses and formed the privately owned Wipro Enterprises. Its owner is Azim Premji and its headquarters is in Bengaluru. It has many subsidiary companies with us, that is Topcoder, Aperio, DesignNet, Wipro Digital and many more. As a call center agent, you will deal with a variety of customers, complaints and situations. Some of them are humorous, some far from it. Call center dilemmas can range from a simple complaint with an easy fix to a complicated situation. Telephone-based phone and online call center services utilize both telephone and internet telephonic communications. Today, we commonly use live chat, email and video call services. Call center services are also available on iPhones, iTablets and smartphones. So, call centers have to make record of the different set of transactions taking place in a month. For every transaction, they follow all accounting rules. They record them in journal and proper books. So for every inquiry, every purchase transaction, sales transaction, every dealings, each set of agents, their brokerage, all BPOs transfer their entries in respective ledger books, say sales book, sales return book, purchase book and purchase returns book. So you can see in the figure here that Wipro results for their revenue has been increasing, declining or on a stability approach every different year. So for every different financial year, sometimes profit line is falling and sometimes its graph is rising. First of all, here we will discuss about the special journals. Special journal is popularly known as subsidiary books. In these books also we record transactions in the chronological order. However, we record transactions in these books which occur frequently. That is, the transactions which occur repetitively or which are recurring in nature and are on a regular basis. All the transactions of similar type are recorded in a separate book. There are 8 subsidiary books that an organization maintains: cash book, purchase book, sales book, purchase return or return outwards book, sales return or return inwards book, bill receivable book, bills payable book and journal proper. A cash book is a subsidiary book as well as a ledger. Special journal is again subdivided into 8 groups: purchase book or purchases journal, sales book or sales journal, purchase return book or purchase returns journal. So here you can see in the figure that we have 2 types of journal. One is special and another is journal. Under special journal we have purchase journal, sales, purchase return, sales return, bills receivable, bills payable, cash and petty cash. Special journal saves our time and divide labor. So this is an introduction to a cash receipt journal where different amounts receivable for the different customers have been recorded from their ledger accounts. From their ledger accounts, they have been posted and regularly recorded in the different journals. Journal is a book in which we record transactions in the chronological order, that is date wise. The date when they take place are recorded then. We record those transactions in this book which do not occur frequently and also which we cannot record in the special journals. The recording of transactions is also known as journalizing. Also, the record of the transactions is known as a journal entry. Usually, we pass the opening entries, closing entries, rectification entries, adjustment entries and entries relating to incomes and expenses which are due. Importance of subdivision of journal. In a case where the number of transactions is large, it is difficult to record all the transactions by way of a journal entry. This is so due to the following limitations of the journal. When we record transactions by way of a journal entry, we need to write the name of the account involved as many times as the transaction occurs. Also, each time we need to post the entry on the debit side and the credit side of the accounts. Thus, it is a cumbersome method. Also, every time a narration has to be written, which unnecessarily increases labor. This system is unable to provide information on a prompt basis, that is on a quick basis. As only one person handles the journal, it cannot facilitate the installation of a system of internal check also. The journal, owing to the voluminous transactions, becomes huge. In order to overcome these limitations, organizations prefer using subsidiary books. Now, compound journal. Simple journal entry refers to a situation where for a single transaction we need to debit one account and credit another account only. However, compound journal entry refers to a situation where for a single transaction we need to debit more than one account or we need to credit more than one account. Let us take an example here. Pass the compound journal entry in the following cases. Commenced business with building, stock, cash. Purchase goods for cash and from Anil. Paid Anil rupees 4800 in full settlement. So for the first transaction, that is commenced business with building, stock and cash, entry would be building account debit, stock account debit, cash account debit to capital account. Then purchase goods for cash 10,000 and from Anil 5,000. Purchases account debit to cash account 10,000 to Anil's account 5,000. Paid Anil 4800 in full settlement. Now we have to pay Anil rupees 5,000 and we are paying him 4800. So there is a discount of 200 provided to us by Anil. So it is discount received. Anil account debit to cash account to discount received account. What does a purchase journal mean? A typical purchase journal has several columns to record the date, vendor's account, invoice date, credit terms, accounts payable, balance and other account balances. All these columns use resource documents that were required throughout the voucher system. For example, the invoice is used to input the price and the date. The purchase order is used to record the terms of the vendor's credit. Management typically uses this journal to track the status of each purchase, the amount owed to vendors, the due dates of each balance along with the discount periods. The accounting department uses this journal to cross-check and tie out the accounts payable subsidiary accounts at the end of each period. For example, Buckley's Bowling is a bowling alley with 37 lanes. It regularly orders food and supplies for its bar from various suppliers. When the kitchen manager places an order of rupees 100 of inventory with a vendor, Buckley typically has 30 days to pay for the order. This credit transaction would be recorded by debiting inventory and crediting accounts payable for ₹100. The purchasing journal would also record the transaction by debiting inventory, crediting accounts payable, and recording the date, invoice, terms, and vendor. Every entry in this journal includes a credit to accounts payable. The debit typically goes to the inventory, but it can also go to the other accounts like supplies. Since the purchases journal only record credit transactions, none of the cash transactions made during the period are posted in it. Instead, all cash and supply purchases are recorded in the cash disbursement journal. Now let us take an example. Record the following transactions in the books of Messrs. Mack & Company and also show the ledger accounts. 1st August, purchase from ABC Limited 2000 balls at the rate of 5 per piece. Purchase from XYZ Limited 100 bats at the rate of 250 per piece. Trade discount 20%. Purchase from Con Limited 200 skates for ₹1 lakh. Trade discount 10%. Purchase from ABC Limited 200 chess for 2000. Trade discount 15%. Purchase from Con Limited 100 skates for 40,000. Trade discount 8%. Now in the books of Messrs. Mack & Company purchases book, we will make a purchase book. Here the first column is of date, then we will write invoice number, then the details, ledger folio and amount. So first of all dates are written, then invoice number, that is bill number, then the name of the supplier. Like our first transaction was ABC Limited 2000 balls at the rate of 5 per piece costing ₹10,000. Then for XYZ Limited 100 bats at the rate of 250 per piece, that is 25,000 less 20% trade discount. So upon 25,000 we will apply 20,000, which is equals to 20,000. Next company is Con Limited 200 skates at the rate of 500 per piece, that is 90,000, because from 1 lakh rupees we have deducted 10% trade discount. Then for 200 chess pieces 100 per piece, that is 2,000 less 15% trade discount 300, and net amount is 1,700. Afterwards we have 100 skates for 400 per piece costing ₹4,000 less 8% trade discount, that is 3,200, and the total of Con Limited is 36,800. And at the end we have to take the grand total of the purchase book, adding on 10,000 plus 20,000 plus 90,000 plus 1,700 plus 36,800. So there is a difference between making a purchase ledger account and a purchase book. Purchase book is a part of journal and purchase account is a part of ledger. Like ledger account, it does not have debit and credit columns, but purchase account has debit and credit columns. Purchase book records only credit purchases of goods, but in purchase account we record both credit as well as cash purchases of goods dealt in or consumed for production are recorded. What is purchase return book? Purchase return or return outward. So once you are purchasing, goods are coming in the business, and if you return the same, so that's why it's called return outward. At times it may be necessary to return few goods back to a supplier when an order is received. This may be due to poor quality, inaccurate quantity, untimely delivery or other reasons. Purchase returns are also called return outward, and an appropriate purchase return or return outward book is maintained. All returns are primarily recorded in the purchase return book unless the returns are not that frequent, in which case they are recorded in the journal. So we have same format of purchase return book: date, particulars, debit note number, ledger folio, details and amount. So here you can see a sample of a debit note. Name of the customer or the supplier number is given, invoice or check reference, customer's name and full address, reference number, batch number, amount to be paid, reason why a purchase return is taking place, then proper date and initials are put. So, a debit note is a document used by a vendor to inform the buyer of current debt obligations, or a document created by a buyer when returning goods received on credit. The debit note can provide information regarding an upcoming invoice or may serve as a reminder for funds currently due. An example of a situation when a debit note is issued. Company A purchases goods worth rupees 200 from Company B. Upon arrival at Company A, the goods are damaged. Company A issues a debit note containing all the relevant information, including original purchase amount and GST. Example of a credit note. Company B purchases goods worth rupees 1 lakh from Amazon in a business-to-business transaction, that is B2B. However, 10,000 worth of goods were found damaged due to some reason, and this was notified to Amazon at the time of actual delivery. Amazon, the seller, issues a credit note for 10,000 in the name of Company B, the buyer. This reduces the accounts receivable for Amazon by 10,000 and the buyer is only required to pay rupees 90,000. So, seller sends credit note to buyer because buyer has returned goods back to the seller. Important features. Credit note is sent to inform about the credit made in the account of the buyer along with the reasons. The sales return book is updated on its basis in case of return of goods. Usual reasons range from goods found incomplete, damaged, inaccurate goods sent, etc. In the books of buyer, we follow the rule in the creditor's account, that is debit the decrease in liability, and in purchase return book we follow the rule credit the decrease in expense. That is, if an expense is decreased, it should be credited, and if there is a liability decrease, then it should be debited. Here we can see the pro forma of a credit note. Name of the company, address, contact number is given, invoice number, then to whom, for what purpose this credit note has been made, name of the company, its address, contact number, when it was sent, the special description why the goods have been sent back, total of the amount, and after that all the initials have been compared, verified, and then signatures are put by the authority. Journal entry for credit note. In the books of buyer, goods returned are purchase return for the buyer. This action leads to the following: a decrease in liability to pay the respective creditor, a decrease in expense previously incurred to purchase goods, creditor's account debit to purchase return account. In the books of seller, goods received are returned are sales return for the seller. This action leads to the following. First of all, income is decreased, which was earlier recorded as sales. Assets are decreased because money will not be received from the debtor anymore. So, sales return account debit to debtor account. In the books of seller, sales return account is debited and the rule followed is debit the decrease in revenue. Debtor's account is credited and the rule so followed is credit the decrease in assets. So a credit note is a credit memo. It's a commercial document issued by a seller to a buyer. Credit note acts as a source document for the sales return journal. In other words, credit note is an evidence, it's a proof of the reduction in sales. For example, a tax invoice of an equivalent amount was issued to Messrs. Sharma Traders on the same day. Messrs. Sharma Traders made payment against the invoice. However, Messrs. Sharma later realized that certain goods were of poor quality and hence decided to return back the goods. Now there is a difference that lies between debit note and credit note. Debit note is a document which reflects that a debit is made to the other party's account. Credit note is an instrument used to inform the other party's account is credited in his books. For debit note, blue ink is always used, and for credit note, we use red ink to prepare it. Debit note is a positive attitude and credit note shows a negative amount. Debit note is updated on the basis of purchase return book and credit note is updated on the basis of sales return book. Debit note shows the effect of minimization in account receivables and credit note shows the effect of minimization in account payables. Debit note can be exchanged for credit note and vice versa, credit note can be exchanged for a debit note. Next comes sales journal. The journal is the all-purpose journal that all transactions are recorded in. Since all transactions are recorded in the journal, it can be extremely large and make finding information about specific transactions difficult. That is why the journal is divided up into several journals like sales, cash received and purchase. Each of these journals records specific transactions. The sales journal typically has 6 columns. A column for the transaction date, account name or customer name, invoice number, posting check box, accounts receivable amount and cost of goods sold amount. Note that there is no column for cash. Since all sales recorded in sales journal are paid on credit, so there is no need for making a cash column. For example, Big Guitars Incorporation sold a guitar to a Josh Roberts for rupees 1500 on January 1st. The cost of the guitar was 700. Big Guitars would record the journal entry for the transaction Job Roberts account debit to sales account, that is being sales made. In sales journal entry example, it will be posted on credit side. After this sales, the Big Guitars sales journal would look like this. Now there is a difference between a sales book and a sales account. Sales book means that book in which we have to record all credit transactions, and sales account is in which all cash as well as credit sales are recorded. Sales book is a primary type of book. Sales account is a secondary book. Sales book is maintained to record all credit business transactions, but sales account is maintained to record the total sale of goods. Sales book records only credit business transactions, but sales account records both credit and cash business transactions. Sales book, it is not transferred in the financial statement, and sales account, it is transferred to trading account. In the sales book, we do not have any debit column, but in a sales account, we have both debit as well as credit columns. Sales book is not dependent on any other primary book, but for making of sales account, we need the journal so that we can draw out the postings and make it record in sales account. The journal entries, journal and closing entries. So whenever we have to pass the entries at the end of a financial accounting year, that is either on the 31st of December or on 31st of March, where you have to record the closing entries and calculate the profits, then we pass it through the trading account or profit and loss account. So one of the two entries are cash account debit, credit account debit, profit and loss summary account, that is 70,000. Profit and loss account debit to cost of goods account, wages account to advertising account. So these are two examples of closing entries. Here we are debiting the revenues and crediting the expenses, and we are posting them on the respective sides of profit and loss account so as to find the net profit for the same year. Now, a closing entry, it's a journal entry that is made at the end of an accounting period to transfer balances from a temporary account to a permanent account. Compare use closing entries to reset the balances of temporary accounts, accounts that show balances over a single accounting period to zero. By doing so, the company moves these balances into permanent accounts on the balance sheet. These permanent accounts shows a company's long-standing financials. For example, a closing entry is to transfer all revenue and expense account totals at the end of an accounting period to an income summary account, which effectively results in the net income or loss for the period being the account balance in the income summary account. Then we shift the balance. Next set of entries is rectifying accounting entries. The errors committed in the books of accounts when located out need to be corrected. However, corrections in the books of accounts should be done by passing proper rectifying entries and not by culling or erasing figures. Such entries, as explained earlier, are passed in journal proper, and the passing of proper rectifying entries can be explained below with the suitable example. Suppose if sales book is overcast by ₹50, overcast is that is ₹50 is added more in the sales book. So overcasting of sales book will result in over credit to sales account by ₹50, since the total of sales book is posted to the credit of sales account at the end of a period. For example, when some joint work in which several parties are interested is undertaken, the individual transactions relating to it are taken to the account of a single party in the first instance, and before closing the accounts of a month, the necessary distribution all over the accounts is effected by a transfer entry, that is, transferring the amount from one account to the another account. So, a transfer journal entry is used to allocate an expense or revenue from one account or sponsored project to another, or to transfer funds between object codes within an account or sponsored project. Transfers journal entries should include a description of the item and explanation of why the transfer is necessary. So here we can conclude in this chapter, special journal is a specialized journal for special transactions. It gives detailed information of each and every transaction. In spite of having many advantages, the special journal has a few disadvantages which should be taken care of, otherwise the utility of this accounting technique will go in vain. Nowadays, companies are more interested in purchasing accounting software which helps them posting the special accounting entries in the books of accounts, and the software are designed in such a way that it gives double entry effects, but also it is a known fact that the user of the software should also be financial and accounting literate. So in this chapter we have covered these topics: purchase and purchase return book, sales and sales return book, journal proper, debit and credit note, how we can post entries in the different subsidiary books, closing entries, rectifying entries, transfer entries, adjusting entries, return inward, return outward, miscellaneous entries, and dishonor of bills. Read the chapter thoroughly, follow the given reference links for more clarity of the topic, and also answer the given questions. What is meant by subdivision of journal? What is the main advantage of using a sub-journal? What are the advantages of subdivision of journals? Which subsidiary book is most useful in your opinion? What is meant by subdivision? Explain the purpose of book, purchase book and sales book along with their formats. Which type of transactions are recorded in journal proper? What is journal proper example? In which order monthly transactions are recorded in a journal? And last is, what is the use of journal proper? So this was all about your chapter number 11, that is special journals. In this we have discussed about the different types of books which are commonly prepared to record the credit transactions and those transactions which cannot be recorded in any other subsidiary book. Thank you, class.